Welcome. In this video today, I'm from Cape Town, okay? Before I get started, let me just show you these views because it's just friggin' awesome. So we're in the center of Cape Town. Look at these views. Wait till I show you this. So you've got Lion's Head, that peak, and then we've got Table Mountain. Like, just take that in. I feel like I should be one of those people with a GoPro just to show you like the quality and how beautiful this is. And also, this is the apartment. Pretty lovely. Yeah. Making the most of this, but I'm not going to be lying to you saying it's always been this nice because it's actually been raining for 4 days. So that's the first time we've seen that table. Anyway, in this video today, I'm going to share exactly how I helped my wonderful friend and client, Emma. She lost 8 pounds in 6 weeks, and how I helped her manage this despite suffering with PCOS. Yes, you heard that right. All this jargon out there, and no offense to the Western world because I love the doctors. Certain doctors, though, that are basically putting PCOS to one side and saying that you need to lose weight. Emma especially was trying for a child, but the doctor said to her, you need to lose weight. But the medication they were putting her on was making her gain weight. How confusing is that for someone? And it's not explained, it's not supported in how lifestyle strategies, which is what I did and how I personally coached and helped Emma through this. She lost 8 pounds with no dieting despite suffering with PCOS, and her symptoms have more than halved in only 6 weeks. Right, let's deep dive into this. I've taken some notes, by the way, because a lot of the PCOS information out there, I've gathered myself. I've looked at the research. I'm not a doctor, full disclaim. I'm a coach, a wellness coach online, and I help women through this. However, I always work with my medical professionals. So the information I've got today is from my professionals who have also helped me, because guess what? I also have PCOS. I have type 1 and I had type 2, which is not a coincidence because this is exactly what Emma had. So let's deep dive into it. I've taken some notes. So if I'm looking down, it's because I want to get my facts right. Let's jump straight into it. So for starters, PCOS, right? I didn't know this, especially when I was first diagnosed, and it was very subjectively diagnosed, but I suffered with awful skin and gut problems. I noticed I was gaining weight, and I was like, why am I gaining weight? I'm going to the gym, I'm eating healthy, I'm in a deficit, no idea. It was the PCOS. But what also didn't help is that I was insulin resistant because I had significant sugar cravings, which I didn't know was also due to my type 2 PCOS. And this is the biggest thing. PCOS has a unique set of imbalances, hence why the lifestyle and what you do on a daily basis, if you're struggling and suffering and diagnosed with PCOS, can make a huge difference to the symptoms. It can be overwhelming though, and this is why I've broken it down to step-by-step guide. So for starters, there are 4 types of PCOS, right? Number 1 is inflammation. This commonly causes things like bloating, acne, weight gain, IBS, fatigue, joint pain, anxiety. I mean, what a broad range, okay? But the key is inflammation. Type 2 is insulin resistance, and this is where your sugar cravings are through the roof. I was always told it's because, it's the time of the month. Why did I have sugar cravings the whole friggin' time? It's because I had type 2. Type 3 is adrenal fatigue, which is commonly caused by stress, having a high cortisol, constantly overload of cortisol. And number 4 is hyperthyroidism, which can lead to things like hair loss. Okay, so if you didn't know that, there are 4 types. I didn't know that when I first started this, so I hope that's value already. With Emma in particular, she had type 1 and type 2. So she had inflammation and she was insulin resistant. So let's talk about inflammation. Inflammation is when your immune system is chronically activated, which means the inflammatory cytokines that are signals which are secreted constantly at a low level in women with PCOS. So it's constantly being released. And that's the issue. It never comes down. That's why you're always feeling, or you're inflamed. Now, these signals can directly affect your body by making the ovary produce or overproduce testosterone. And they can directly act on fat cells to directly affect the insulin resistance. Inflammation can lead to insulin resistance. I did not know that. And that is what happened with me for sure. Now, chronic inflammation can lead to insulin resistance, which can lead to things like acne, again, facial hair, things like anxiety and weight gain. Now, let's just talk about number 2, which is the insulin resistance, which again, they go hand in hand, or they can do with inflammation and type 1. This causes uncontrollable cravings, okay? Why? It's because you're insulin resistance. Now, other symptoms include things like poor blood sugar control, spikes after a meal, or severe crashes. And this summed me up, especially when I tried a diet of a high protein diet, which high protein diet and calorie deficit, which is well known out there, but that is such a generic term. And I'm going to share with you today exactly the bonus tip about how much protein you personally should be having, plus fiber on a daily basis. But let's first start off, what is being insulin resistant? So insulin is a hormone that is secreted straight after you put something into your mouth so that it can pick up the sugar broken down and use that sugar for the cells for energy. That makes sense, right? Now consider insulin like a key for your cells. When your cells are resistant to the insulin, they are unable to accept the sugar from the bloodstream and use it as energy. So basically, that sugar that's trying to get into the cells is excess and is stored as fat, or it can cause irregular periods and even these ovarian cysts. They're like pearls on the ovaries, which is what that's commonly identified as when you have a scan of having PCOS. So these are the two I'm going to focus on today, because these are the 2 types that my wonderful friend and client, Emma, had. So her major symptom was weight gain. She was like, I'm trying to have a kid. The doctors are telling me it's impossible because I'm overweight, but I'm on medication that makes me gain weight. I've tried the diets. She had been in a calorie deficit for more than 3 years of her life. That, to your metabolic set point, is a disaster. It is not good. Your body is constantly in survival mode if you're in a deficit for that long. First of all, I'm not poo-pooing calories, okay? A calorie, okay. Calories in, calories out. It's just a measure unit of energy, okay? That's what the calorie is. But you can't say to me, and maybe you can, maybe I'm wrong, that a bowl of cereal is the same worth in terms of how it's produced and how it gives your body fuel as a high fiber, high protein, whole food salad. Now, but I'm not rolling your eyes when I say salad. I mean, I make some cool salads, by the way. And you can't say to me, there might be both 300 calories, but you can't say that bowl of cereal is going to give you the same nutrient value and help your hormones, in particular females with PCOS, compared to that high fiber, high bowl of glorious salad. Okay, that is how I work. That's how I treat, and that's how I teach and coach my females. So with Emma in particular, what we did was, first of all, I understood her lifestyle. I took the time to understand where she's currently at, what she's tried. And I did not go and throw the kitchen sink at her. We spent the first week looking at what she likes, what's her life like. She's a busy person. She's self-employed. There's no point me giving her a generic plan. It had to be personalized. Then I went into her protein and fiber, because a lot of time poor females that I work with personally struggle with eating because they're so busy. You girls, you ladies are super women. The amount of stuff you can get on a day is amazing, but it's not sustainable. And this is what happens, especially if you have PCOS. So we looked at her food. She didn't have any allergies, but we looked specifically how she felt after eating certain foods. And we quickly identified there were certain food groups that she felt more bloated to. We then deep dived into those foods, and guess what? They were full of seed oils, emulsifiers, all these processed chemical ingredients that are marketed as healthy foods. But if you look at the back of the ingredients, by law, they have to put what's on there. It is a broad range of chemicals that if your gut has inflammation, and let's talk about the gut inflammation for a minute. So your stomach, your intestine has these layers of cells which are like this. They're like really tight together. Now, when you eat and you consume pesticides or emulsifiers or these stabilizers or these natural flavoring, what happens is they come in and they disrupt the gut lining. So the gut lining goes from this to this, which, as you can see, it's loose, and it also means that proteins and nutrients are coming in and out of the gut into the blood, which is causing inflammation. That's one theory. Now, that's why we looked at these specific foods. In week 2, she rang me and she was like, I've just lost 2 pounds. I'm not dieting. I'm not going to the gym. I've just said what you told me to do with protein, fiber, and I've lost 2 pounds. I was like, boom, there you go. Let's get going. After that, we went into looking at how she moves. Now, she is a gym girl. She knows what cardio can do to you in terms of helping you sweat. It can help you burn more calories in a short time, especially if you're a lady who is time poor. The last thing you want to go and do is spend an hour in the gym. You want to keep it short, and also you want to keep it high calorie burn because you're trying to lose weight. But this is the big but. When you have PCOS, especially inflammation, the last thing you want to do to yourself is cause more stress. And that is exactly what these high intensity exercises do. So we ditched the cardio, which was scary. She was like, I'm not too sure what to do here. I know cardio, I know it works. Well, I thought it's worked. The minute she started weight training, the first thing she told me, which was a week later, was, oh my God, I'm thinking clear. And oh my God, I don't have this headache anymore that I've actually been living with for years, which was part of the inflammation. And she was like, I cannot believe the difference. So we swapped the cardio, we brought in weight training. Now, weight training doesn't have to be done every day as well. She did her weight training 3 days a week. That was it. The final thing we looked at was stress, was cortisol, okay? If you have high inflammation, especially actually if you also have the type 3, which is the adrenal fatigue with PCOS, the last thing you want to go and do is have more stress. Now, that's easier said than done because a lot of the stress we live in this world is external. So we can't control what happens to us on a daily basis, but we can control how we react. We can control our thoughts, behaviors. Maybe not our thoughts. We can control our behaviors and the actions we take. So if you're feeling stressed, you don't have to act on that behavior. You can understand why you're stressed, where it's coming from. And this is how I help my females, especially going through not only PCOS, but things like perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, the night sweats, the anxiety. I've had females say to me, Nika, I was never a nervous person. I'm a nervous person. What's going on? Like, I'm anxious. Why am I anxious? My heart feels tight. My chest feels tight. All of these are the symptoms of anxiety, high cortisol potentially. If that sounds like you, reach out. I'm here to help. I want to help. And just comment below or send me a message. My website is www.trueselfmastery.com, or just comment below. So to wrap up, how Emma lost 8 pounds in 6 weeks was nutrition. We looked at fiber and protein, cutting out emulsifiers. We looked at her movement. We ditched the cardio. We brought in the weight training. And number 3 was her cortisol, her stress. I gave her personal strategies to help bring down the cortisol and improve her stress cycle. We all have stress. Stress isn't actually bad for you. It's good for the body to feel that little bit of stress, but then complete it and move on. What a lot of us tend to do, especially females, is we live in a constant stress, a constant state of flight mode where we're like, what's happening and what can happen if you always elevating that level of cortisol, that stress response. You could almost go into the this dysregulation where you feel completely numb. And it is a really debilitating place to be. Again, I've worked with females like this. It's like your nervous system is totally shut down. No matter what comes at you, you're just numb to it all. You're not happy, you're not sad, you just feel meh. Like it's not a great place to be, but it's unfortunately becoming more common. And this is why the stress management to bring down cortisol levels are so fundamental, and why I teach this as part of my one-to-one coaching program online. If you want more information on how to work with me, I'm offering a free consultation call. I genuinely want to give you as much value as I can. So if you want more information to join a call with me, comment below and I'll send you through a link. Let's connect. Emma is at the start of this journey. She's continuing it. And the best thing about it is she's dropping weight. She says, I've got my period back. Can we just stop for a minute? She's gone from irregular bleeding to the point of having a monthly cycle in only 6 weeks. Like, yeah, I know. I'm getting excited. Thank you so much for listening. If you do have any questions, comment below or visit my website. And thank you for tuning in.